In the last video, I talked about different types of attributes. In this one, I will talk about three different types of methods and their usages. Hello coders, welcome to my channel. I'm David, your guide to mastering programming. First method type is instance method. Instance method is a method that operates on an instance of a class. Let me create an example for you. This method is called an instance method because it performs operations on instance level data, which means it performs operations of instances of a class. To create an instance method, you need to create it the same way you create a regular function with a def keyword and this colon, but the important thing is that you have to have at least one parameter because this instance method gets the instance itself as the first parameter. So this self is an instance itself. You can call it whatever you want, but the Python convention is that you call it self. So I suggest that you call it self as well. I'll create my first instance. It will be dog, and I will type animal and here pass dog. So now the instance attribute type will have the value of dog. To call an instance attribute, I mean an instance method, there are two ways. First way is to use the name of an instance itself. For example, dog. I can write dog dot and then my instance method name, animal type, in which case you don't have to pass anything here because this dot operator implicitly passes dog itself as the first parameter to this instance method. So now when I run this code, as you can see, it prints this animal type is dog. The second way is with a class name, animal, and then write the dot and then the instance method name, animal type. But in this case, you have to pass an instance because this dot knows that this animal is a class and you can't pass class as an instance here. So dog. Now when I run this code, as you can see, both of these are the same. Important thing with instance classes is they can only be called after the object is created. You can't write something like this. That's because if you remove this dog, now you don't have an instance to pass to this animal type function. Second method type is class method. Class method is a method that operates on a class itself. Here is the syntax for a class method. You need to write at the rate sign and then write the keyword class method. And after that, you can write the class method the same as you would create any function. The class method operates on a class itself, as I have told you. So you have to pass a class to it. That's where this method got a name. So this CLS is a class parameter. This line here is a decorator. I will talk about decorators in some other video. For now, you just need to know that this is a decorator and that it ensures that CLS is a class, not an instance like this self here. And this vocal is a regular parameter. To call a class method, there are two ways, like with instance methods. First way, you can call it using your instance name, for example, here dog, and then animal vocal. And here you don't have to pass your class since this dot operator knows that this dog is an instance of an animal, so it indirectly passes an animal class. You just have to pass this parameter vocal. So I will pass woof woof. Now when I run this, as you can see, it prints this animal sound is woof woof. Another way is to write an animal, an class name, and then write the method name. And here you can only pass this vocal because this dot operator indirectly passes this animal to this CLS. Now when I run this, I expect to see two same lines, as you can see. So let's sum up some important things. Class methods are used to operate on class level data. As you can see here, this sound is a class attribute, so this class method is modifying it, not this instance method. This type is an instance attribute, so this instance method is using it. Yes, this class method could also use this instance attribute, but that's inappropriate and it's not advice because that is not how a clean Python code should look like. Also important thing to mention is that to call a class method, you don't have to create an object because this class method operates on a class itself. So when you create a class, this class method is also created. I will show you that here. But in that case, you can't call that using this instance name because you don't have an instance. But here, as you can see, it works perfectly fine. And another important thing is that instance methods get instance as a first parameter, while class methods get class as a first parameter. The convention is to use CLS for class. CLS is short from class, and self for instance, and this decorator class method ensures that this CLS is indeed a class, not an instance. Because by default, if you don't write this then becomes an instance method. And let's create the third and the final method type. That method type is static method. I will first create it, then I will explain how it works. To create a static method, you have to write this at the rate sign and then write the keyword static method. This is also a decorator. Now, after this decorator, you can create your function the same way as any other function. Static methods are called using a class, for example, animal.animal message. Now, when I run it, as you can see, it prints I love this owner. Also, they can be called using an instance. As you can see, I love this owner. You have probably noticed that this static method doesn't have this purple argument. Even if I write some parameter here, for example, vocal, as you can see, it's not purple, which means this static method doesn't get an instance or a class. It just gets those regular parameters. And this static method decorator ensures that. So this static method decorator is used to ensure that static method doesn't get an instance or class. I mean, you can pass it, but it's not required. Like here, where instance is required, and here, where class is required. A static method is a regular function defined within a class, which accesses neither the instance attributes nor the class attribute. The only difference between a static method and a function is that a static method belongs to the class for namespace reasons. What I mean by that is, as you can see, to call this animal message static method, I have to write a class name with a dot or an instance name with dot. I can't simply write animal message and then open the parentheses like I would with any normal function. Like class method, you don't have to create an object, like here dog, to call a static method. Let me show you. As you can see, when I run this code, it works perfectly fine. It prints I love this owner. That's because the static method doesn't access neither the instance attributes nor the class attributes, nor receives them as arguments, which means it doesn't really have any connection with this class animal. The only connection that it has is that it is created within this class animal namespace. I hope you have found this video helpful. Like and subscribe for more coding content. See you in my next video. Until then, keep coding.